What's up, you guys? We are back with some more college football this week. This is Beat the Odds College Football Edition on Odds Checker. I'm Katelyn Heffler. Jason, Alex, how are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I would say that I continue to get my picks of the week wrong in this video. I'm 1-4 on those, but outside my picks of the week, I'm 14-8 ATS in these videos this season. So just don't trust me when I have a lock, but otherwise I'm feeling pretty good about the process right now.
I'm feeling, I would say, the opposite. Well, let's just call it over 500 on generic picks. Let's just leave it at that. Mind your business. But above now on the picks of the week, 3-2, thanks to the Georgia Bulldogs last week. Also feeling pretty good about the win total over unders, LSU, UNC, Wyoming, respectively. So things are fine.
My pick of the week felt really great last week. I had Alabama minus 45, and let's just say I'm feeling pretty good with that one. Glad I went with that. But let's get into it. Guys, what are your picks this week?
So, yeah, Jason, we'll just trade on and off. I'm going to start with the game day game this week, Arkansas and Georgia. This is in Athens. I have the under in this game at 49 points. Arkansas is, as your Shutdown Fullcast podcast has stated, doing some whomping these days. They are bullying teams in a way they couldn't before, but I don't think it's possible to really whomp Georgia, particularly on their defensive line. KJ Jefferson, Treylon Burks. I like the skill position talent that Arkansas has, but I think that they just haven't seen anything quite like what they're going to see in the case of Georgia's defense, and I don't think they have the deep threats to steal quick points in this game. I also think that UGA's offense has only played one really great defense, and that was Clemson, and they scored 3 points in that game. So I don't expect a ton of points here. I think it'll be a slog, and I think the under cashes in Athens this weekend.
I have a Friday night game, actually Thursday night game, right? Thursday night game. Virginia is traveling to the Miami Hurricanes. Virginia coming off consecutive 20-point losses, yet only giving 4 points. I have the Canes -4 at home. I like that short travel boost for the home team. Virginia's pretty bad defense. Miami's got some quarterback injury questions, but gets to face Virginia's defense, so I'm not that worried about it.
Reasonable. I thought about Miami in that game, didn't pull the trigger. Maybe I wish I had. Cincinnati and Notre Dame, I'm going under here as well at 51 points. A lot of reasons to think there's not going to be much scoring here. Cincy has carved up G5 teams, but when they played Georgia in the Peach Bowl last year, they had a season low in points. That was 21. I think Notre Dame's defense is really good. Offense very much is not good. And if you saw the Wisconsin game last weekend, you understand what I'm talking about. Also, a little kind of variable in this game is that the Notre Dame defensive coordinator, Marcus Freeman, famously was at Cincinnati the last 4 seasons. I don't think he's going to know the play calls or anything like that, but I do think he has a lot of familiarity with Cincinnati's players and the limits and the upsides of those players. And I think that helps Notre Dame kind of keep a lid on Cincinnati's offense here.
Let us stay in the ACC on my side. Syracuse at Florida State. Q's is getting 5 points. Cool. I'll take them. FSU probably finally gets a win. I'm not super confident about that. FSU getting anything more than a point or two is, I'll take it. Expect a low-scoring game, which probably increases the chances of the underdog covering here.
Yeah, you and I are aligned on this game. I have Syracuse at +5.5, and I think that this is a shocking thing to say, but I think that Dino Babers might have a good enough defense to save his job this year at Syracuse. They are just a lot more competent on that side of the ball than they used to be. They hired a Rocky Long assistant to run that defense, and it looks like it. It looks like they have a better plan in place on that side of the ball than they have in the past. So, yeah, 5.5 is a lot for Syracuse to be getting. I mean, Florida State is terrible, and I think that if it weren't the helmet, and if it weren't the Florida State Seminoles, I think that this would not be as wide a spread as it is.
This next one, I'm honestly surprised this isn't my pick of the week because Ball State is one of the worst teams in the country at preventing run gains of, say, 3, 4, 5 yards, and they are facing Army, and it is Army -6. That is the entire game, is trying to prevent 4-yard runs. Army -6 for me.
It makes good sense. I have a MAC game here, Western Michigan and Buffalo. I am with Western Michigan -5.5. WMU has covered against everyone but Michigan that they've played this season, and usually by wide margins. Last 3 weeks, they've been covering by 15 to 18 points per game, generally speaking. I had one win in there when they beat Pitt a couple weeks back. It seems like Western Michigan is generally a pretty good offensive program right now. They won last week, despite Tim Lester, their head coach, not being there because he had COVID. Buffalo, on the other hand, I'm afraid has taken some pretty big steps backward from where they were under Lance Leipold, who left for Kansas. Mo Linguist is their head coach now, and I think it's more of a rebuilding job than maybe it looked like when he took it. So I think that Western Michigan should be winning this game by something on the order of a touchdown or two. 5.5 doesn't seem like a lot for them to be given.
Quite possible. I too have lost some confidence in the Buffalo Bulls. By the way, I hope you all appreciate the backyard bird noises. They will be taking a pause while we select the Florida Gators -8 at Kentucky. If you like third down conversions, this is the game for you. Both are good at achieving them and bad at preventing them. I think it's more like a 2-score victory for Florida. Just a couple levels better than a pretty decent Kentucky team on both sides of the ball.
Well reasoned. I'm staying in the MAC for a moment. Bowling Green and Kent State. Bowling Green plus 16.5 in this game. Can't believe I'm saying it, but Bowling Green is a lot better this year. Now that Brian Van Gorder is no longer their defensive coordinator. Notre Dame fans, Atlanta Falcons fans, you'll know what I'm talking about. They have played Tennessee and Minnesota and sacked QBs on 1 in 5 dropbacks nearly in those couple of games. Kent has played 3 Power 5 teams and been unable to pass block against them at all. I think Bowling Green might have a big boy pass rush this year, and I think they're going to sack Dustin Crum pretty frequently. SP Plus sees this as like a 6 or a 7 point game, and I'm getting 16.5 for Bowling Green. So I can't believe I'm here, but I'm feeling good about the Falcons.
Kent State giving up more than 2 TDs to anybody in FBS it's quite a few. WKU is going to Michigan State. Give me Michigan State -9. They have a good defense. WKU, I think their offense is probably a little bit statistically inflated at this point. I think it's hard to say anything should ever be easy for the Spartans. It's not really the brand, but this should be a relatively comfortable victory for them.
Checks out with me. Iowa and Maryland on Friday night. I'm with Maryland plus 3.5. Cannot believe I'm doing this either as a perpetually pessimistic and sad Maryland football fan. Iowa has the best non-Georgia defense in college football right now, and I respect that, but Maryland has a pretty good defense as well. Talia Tagovailoa is the best quarterback Iowa will have faced, and we have not seen Iowa in really any kind of adverse situation all season. I think that if Maryland can get a couple quick touchdowns and we get to see what it looks like when Spencer Petras has to throw from behind, I think Iowa could get into some trouble on the road in this game. I thought about Maryland moneyline, wasn't quite that brave, but I think plus 3.5, I feel pretty good about it.
Maybe at some point you'll be brave enough to trust the Terps. I think Washington and Oregon State is another example of what you're talking about, a helmet game, because Washington has been to the playoff in recent memory. Oregon State has been terrible in recent memory, but these teams to this point in the season have been basically equal, and Oregon State is getting points at home. I think Oregon State has been much better against Vegas so far this season than Washington has. Washington's been pretty bad. Oregon State might have a pretty decent, pretty balanced offense. Getting points at home, I'll take it.
Well reasoned. Is it pick of the week time?
Yes, I believe it's time.
I have my Bama pick of the week first, but Bama plays Ole Miss this weekend. I'm excited for this matchup. I think that Ole Miss is going to probably be the toughest team that Bama has played this far. Alabama's looking good so far, just their defense needs some work, but I'm taking Alabama -14.5. Let's get into those picks of the week. Guys,
yeah, I'm into it. Pitt and Georgia Tech. I have Pitt -3 in this game. Pitt has a lot of problems. I think they probably have to fire Pat Narduzzi sometime in the next year or so, but they do tear apart sloppy quarterbacks and offenses, and Georgia Tech qualifies. Jeff Sims was really good off the bench in relief of Jordan Yates the other night, but I think UNC is more suspect than we realize, and I think that Jeff Sims or Jordan Yates, whoever is throwing the ball for Georgia Tech, is going to spend a lot of time being sacked in this game. Getting, in Pitt's case, laying anything within a field goal, in this case -3, I feel pretty good about that just on the basis that I think they're going to get a lot of sacks.
I appreciate Caitlin with the Bama fan mindset of Bama's defense is never, ever, ever good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, shrewd.
I've already said before that Pete Golding needs to leave. But anyways, another discussion. Go ahead.
Southern Miss is at Rice, and Rice is giving away points. I don't know if I've ever been more confused by a line. It's a rare chance that you get to take someone as an underdog against Rice, Southern Miss +3. Stats models I trust most, SP Plus, FPI, team rankings, etc., have Southern Miss winning outright in Houston. Some of them by a touchdown or more. Southern Miss has some key injuries. So does Rice. Both teams are really bad at almost everything, except there's a chance USM's defense is only bad, not really bad.
Rice's is really bad.
Yeah,
really
Rice
bad.
is really bad at everything. Southern
Yeah.
Miss is possibly
Yeah.
almost okay at defense.
Yeah.
Give me those points.
I think that if you actually just put a bunch of rice on the field, like literal rice, and just kind of like dumped it on the field, it would be better at defense than Rice football is this year.
It would be kind of like running over a banana peel in Mario Kart, I believe.
Exactly.
All right, so my pick of the week, Penn State plays Indiana this week. Penn State has been looking good, both offensively and defensively. I think that they have gained a lot of momentum and they will put a lot of points on the board. So I like Penn State -10.5 for this week.
Makes sense to me.
Respectable.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we've got for this week, and we will catch you guys next week with some more college football picks. This is Beat the Odds College Football Edition on Odds Checker.